Hello everybody, here is Country Music News International. My name is Christian Lamitschka and we have today one of the legends in music business, in each business I believe. It's T. Graham Brown. T. Graham Brown, it's a name which pops up when you're searching for music on Google. So how did that came?
Well, I was telling a guy a while ago, you said a legend. I was talking to Merle Haggard one day, and I called him a legend. And he said, Brown, all you need to be called a legend is to live long enough.
That's true.
So I'm 65, so I'm kind of living long enough, and people call me legend, but I don't feel like a legend.
So you think you feel like 25?
In my mind, I do. My body doesn't think that way, but in my mind, I do.
T, you did a lot of big songs in your career. Which was your personal favorite song?
Well, there's one called I Tell It Like It Used to Be was my first hit, and that kind of got me out there. But I wrote a song called Wine into Water that's basically a prayer to help me get sober. I had a bad drinking and drug problem for a long time, but through the grace of God and the love of my wife Sheila, I'm sober and just glad to be here.
So, T, what's the difference, in your opinion, by the time you started in your career and now?
You know, I don't really know about now. I don't really know what's going on because I don't listen to modern country. So I can't say really whether it's good or bad because I don't have an opinion on it because I don't know what it is. But when I listen to music, I either listen to classic country or classic rock. I grew up in the 60s, so I like classic rock and classic country. But after about 1995, I don't really know what's going on.
In your career, you played the biggest festivals all over the world. And now you're playing, so far what I heard, are still the big festivals, but you are also more familiar with the small venues where you have the time to talk with your fans a little bit more, to get more private. So what is the better thing, to play the big venues or more the private venues where you have the time to talk to each of your fans and so on?
They're both fun. They're just different. I love playing big shows, but you know, I really like playing theaters. There's a lot of movie theaters here in the United States that were built in the 30s and 40s that they're restoring. So you can go in there and it's a really elegant place and it's a smaller crowd and I feel like I can reach them better. I just feel really close to them. It's an awful lot of fun. It's an awful lot of fun. I enjoy that immensely.
I had the fortune to cover a couple of years ago one of your concerts, and I was so surprised they could sing all your hits, and you came up with, I cannot remember the title of the song, but the folks runs crazy. How this for you, or how this for you that all the artists, or not the artists, sorry, all the fans can sing your song, and probably you start with the first line and then they finish the rest of the song?
Makes me feel great. It's a wonderful feeling. I've been blessed by God and I've had a wonderful life. I've had a wonderful career. I tell people that I've gotten to work with and get to know all the one-name people, Waylon, Willie, Merle, Loretta, Tammy, George, and Conway. I just came along at a perfect time that I got to work with all those folks and get to know them, and they actually liked me, so that was neat.
So I believe you remember Billy Walker.
Yes.
So By the way, Billy was one of my first live interviews. I can tell you there the story, but that's another story. So Billy also was a huge fan of you. I were talking with him by my first time about you, and he said T will be someone he likes to do in duet. I believe it never happens, or?
No, it never happened, but the one thing I remember so much about Billy, he would always come up to me and he would say this every time: how was your relationship with Christ? He would ask me that every time. And I would say, fine, but I would be drunk or be drugged up, you know. And I wish that I could tell him now what a good relationship I have and how my life has changed for the better. But I didn't get a chance to tell him that.
By the way, in fact, you had one or two deeps in your life. What gave you the power to come out of these deeps?
Wow. I just basically hit bottom. And I looked at, it's an old story, kind of a corny story, but this actually happened. I got up one morning and I felt terrible. I looked in the mirror and I looked like I was just death warmed over. And I asked myself, what are you doing? You're about to lose everything. You're about to lose your career, your wife, everything. And I asked God to help me out, and bam, I haven't had a craving since that day. So,
by the way, it is like by a wine. How older the wine is, how better it is. I believe it's the same with the artists, in my opinion. And I love, let me say, to sit here with you together in Nashville. And talking with you. It's a really pleasure. What is the best story by the fact of your experience you can ever share with us?
Wow. Well, first of all, let me address what you said. I'm 65 years old, and I think I'm singing better now than I ever have. So that's really a joy. Golly, I had so many highs. I got to work, like I said, I got to work with everybody. I would think one of the best days of my life was George Jones and I did a concert at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. And I opened up for him and I got to sing for an hour. And it was just the most wonderful experience, you know. It was really good. George was a great friend of mine, and he called me back out during his show to sing, and it was just sold out, and it was a wonderful crowd, and what a great day.
So what can we expect to see from you now in the future?
Well, I hope I can cut an album this year in 2020. I'm really, really hoping that. If not next year, first of next year. But I'm working on I went down to the Bellamy Brothers ranch down in Florida, and we worked on a song called Mr. Wrong, and I'm going to put some vocals on it next week or later this week. And we got to put some horns on it and background vocals. And I'm thinking about just throwing it out there, releasing it, and see if anybody will play it.
So you're in the process to picking up songs?
Yes, and writing.
So we come to the point writing. Is there someone you like to write a song together?
Wow. Well, he's not around anymore, but Merle Haggard would have been a lot of fun. Now, I'm hoping, I was thinking this last night, man, I hope I can get with Willie Nelson this year. I know Willie, and he's a friend of mine. I would love to either write or record a song with him this year. That would just be wonderful. And another thing I got going on, do you know what Sirius satellite radio is, Sirius XM? Well, I have a show on there now on the Prime Country channel called Live Wire with T. Graham Brown. And I play live cuts from people's live albums. And I do 6 guests. I have 6 guests per show. So it's kind of like going from concert to concert to concert. And it's really a cool thing. So if you ever see that, I wish you'd tune in. You would like it.
Okay, folks, so you see in his career was such a lot of things going on. And here on Country Music News, we keep you posted. Country Music News International, folks, don't forget it. We keep you posted. Have a good one here from Nashville, Tennessee.